So you want to publish your GitHub repo to Docker Hub. I'm going to show you how I published the VIP Access Python repository, and it turns out it's crazy simple. I'm just going to trigger this off the main branch. When commit's done, you could trigger it off a whole bunch of ways, and I'll show you. So you can see here I have my repositories when I'm logged into GitHub, and one of them is freemansoft/VIP Access. And I'll show you the settings in a minute. Basically, you just create a repository, you give it a name inside your domain, and the name you put here is the name that the Docker image will actually have on the repo. In my case, it would be freemansoft/blah, blah, blah. And you won't, the Docker container name can be different than your GitHub repository name. So then you just connect GitHub, and you pick the organization, which you've already linked to, and I'll show you, it actually sets up the link. You can either be connected to Bitbucket or GitHub. You can't connect to both at the same time. You can select your repository, and I'm going to pick the Python VIP Access, and up here I'm just going to call it VIP Access. Should generate an error. You put a description in, and then you pick some build rules, and they give you some examples, which I think is freaking awesome. So in my case, I just picked this one, exact match on master. It's always going to be the latest, and whenever there's a change on master, this thing will install a webhook over there, pick it up, and deploy it. The best way to do this is probably to actually create a release branch in GitHub, and then change this branch from master to your release branch, right? The other option would be to tag your versions, and this thing would pick up your release tags. So I'm going to cancel this. So when it triggers a build, you'll see it here in the builds window. And if I click on this build, I click on the recent build. This is actually the automated build itself, and this is the build log. And you can actually see what happens here. It's actually running the build command, docker build, and it's pulling in all the same things it would do on your desktop if you pulled down my repo. And you can see down here at the end, it purges everything, and then it publishes, successfully tagged this, and it pushes it to Docker.io, and it is done, and that's all there is to it. You log in, you click on repositories, you create a repository, you bind it to either Bitbucket or GitHub, pick the branch or other way you want to pick it up. It will auto build every time those tag conventions are met. And like I said, with Python code, it's super easy because there's no compilation necessary for deployment. So there's no build environment.